Good to go. Alrighty. Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Guillermo Contreras. I am a physical therapist in Wisconsin or Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I am a TA for clinical management of fitness athlete, essential foundations and live courses, as well as here and there with modern management of the older adult as well. I think I said that twice, but that's okay. Going to jump into some stuff today. But before I do, remember if you're interested in taking either foundations, advanced concepts, essential foundations, pregnancy or postpartum, any of the courses in the fitness athlete division, jump onto the online courses section of PT on Ice or ice.physio or ptonice.com. Can't talk this morning. And check out the courses we have there for you. Lots of them that you can kind of look at, jump into, and kind of take advantage of, especially if you're looking to get either certification in fitness athlete or even modern management the older adults. Get into the essential foundations, advanced concepts, and live course. Make sure you jump into all those, check all those out. So this morning, the topic I want to talk about is something I get asked a lot about during the essential foundation courses when people find out that not only am I working in an outpatient clinic, but also run my own thing on the side in a cash practice inside of CrossFit Box. And it's the idea of, so you want to start a side hustle, right? Side hustle. A lot of people that we see in the Essential Foundations courses are really interested in working with a specific population. Typically, if you're in advanced concepts or Essential Foundations or any of the fitness athlete division, you're looking to work with individuals who weightlift, who powerlift, who participate in CrossFit or functional fitness, whatever you want to call it, or even just individuals who are endurance athletes or someone just in the fitness realm. And sometimes they don't get to see as much of that population as they can within their outpatient orthopedic clinic, where maybe they're seeing a couple patients in an hour slot, like every half hour, overlapping appointments, things like that. And they're just looking for something else to be able to scratch that itch, I guess, for lack of a better term. So I always get the question of, especially those who are first applying to a job or are starting to begin applying, hey, what do you recommend? I talk about how much should I actually talk about? How much should I actually say? Do I even mention that I'm starting my own thing, that I have this relationship with a local CrossFit Box, or do I not talk about it? Do I just keep it quiet with this new employer that I'm trying to get a job with? And my piece of advice is going to be two different ways, right? So it's going to depend on whether you're first applying for a job and trying to get in, or if you're already working somewhere and you're starting to dive into this world of a side hustle or trying to build something outside of just within the clinic. From my personal experience, I've done both, so that's why I kind of can speak on this a little bit. So I'm going to start with if you are applying for a new job, and you already have a relationship established within a gym or a box or with a gym owner or a group of individuals, and you are just starting to get in that sphere and you want to help those individuals, but you also want I'd say the comfort and security of a part-time job or a full-time job where you can be in the clinic, you can have health insurance and all these other things too. So my biggest piece of advice I normally give individuals is to be honest and forthright. I've had very good experiences when I've been honest and forthright, as I would hope most people do. But just being straightforward, saying, put on your resume, say like whatever it is. If you want, you can say owner of, for example, our business is Cross Physio, owner of Cross Physio, physical therapist, offer out-of-network cash-based services to CrossFit or functional fitness individuals, focusing on this. If that employer actually reads your resume, he'll see that or she'll see that, and she or he will have a conversation with you about that. We'll ask you, okay, what does this mean? What does this do? And there's no reason to shy away from it or lie about it or say like, nope, I don't know what that is, or like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. But just be honest and forthright. Hey, it's a way for me to take my really strong passion and desire to work with these individuals, to work in this realm, and apply it to them, to give them something that maybe they're not able to get in a traditional space or setting, to be able to offer some concierge services that I like to offer. It allows me to go outside of maybe what insurance will allow. So maybe I want to get really into the performance realm. So what I do is I see someone for maybe a visit or two for pain in their shoulder, and they get better. And what I can do is kind of help them get better at overhead pressing, at snatching, at clean and jerks, right? It allows you to kind of not only say like, this is what I'm doing on the side, but also this is the area I'm really good at. And once again, maybe they say they don't see you as competition or like, oh, you're trying to take business away, but more so, oh, that's a skill set and an expertise that you can bring into this clinic, that you can bring into this team of clinicians that we have here, that now that makes you more valuable for this company, for this clinic, for this business, whatever it is you're applying at, right? So taking what you have and saying like, this is what I'm really good at, this is what I really love, this is what I really enjoy, this is how I want to use it to be able to assist and work with these individuals. I'm not sure why that happened on Instagram Live, but hopefully it doesn't happen again. So, right. So now you have, I would say you have a little bit more to offer a clinic, because they see that you have an expertise in an area, where it be like, people talk about overhead throwing athletes and running athletes, but very rarely do you find a clinic where like, oh, this guy's an expert, or a whatever, let's call it an expert in weightlifting, in barbell movements, in this functional fitness realm that, to be honest, I have no idea about. So then that gives you even more value to come in to work in their clinic. One thing I do want to be, I'll touch about that in a second. Okay. Now, what about if you're working somewhere already and you have an established relationship, you've been working there for a year or so, maybe 6 months, whatever it is, and you just have this drive and desire to open up your an out-of-network place and kind of a little dock in a box kind of setup. What do you do with your employer then? Same thing. You be forthright. You be honest. You let them know, hey, this is something I am looking to do. This is something I'm really passionate about. This is something that I would love to do here. However, this location doesn't offer me the opportunity or the equipment or whatever it may be to do it to the fullest extent and the way I want to do it. And say it probably a little bit more kindly than that. And just kind of say like, I really love working with this population. This is how I would like to do with this, how I'm going to do this, where I'll be doing it. This will not be affecting my work here. I will not be asking for time off in this clinic to be doing this. I will not be leaving during the middle of the day or kind of like doing my like remote programming, if you're doing online stuff in the middle of the workday. Like, this is not going to affect my job here. This work here and my side hustles are going to be separate entities. I will not be like handing out business cards here. I will not be interfering in that way. Because ideally you shouldn't be, right? If you're working with someone, if you respect your manager, your supervisor, and they also respect you, it should be a mutual relationship where you're not trying to bring down that business just to promote your business, because what you're doing outside of there is so good. You're providing such a good service that the individuals were willing to see you outside of the clinic, or you're able to market or find people by social media or by word of mouth in that way, right? So just being forthright, being honest, explaining this is how I'm going to do it. This is why I want to do it. This is where I'll be doing it. And more often than not, at least I hope so, they're going to be okay with it. They're going to be excited for you. They're going to be kind of encouraging for you. They're going to say like, that's really cool. That's awesome that you're doing that. Best of luck with that. We appreciate you being honest with us and things like that. In my personal experience, I got to a point where I was like, you know what, this whole place I'm working is just not give me what I was looking for. This is not what I was promised, and I'm going to start my own thing. When I spoke to my supervisor and my manager, let him know, then he brought it to the regional manager, and then we had a conversation, and they actually supported me, and I said, hey, I think I'm going to drop down to part-time, and they basically said, that sounds good. Can you do these 3 days? I said, yes. They were extremely supportive. It was surprising, to be honest. I did not expect it. And then when I finally did leave that clinic to pursue it further, they had nothing but the best of wishes. I actually had to message my former regional manager from different paperwork and some other stuff, and he was always very gracious and kind. So again, don't ever underestimate the power of just being honest, forthright, and forthcoming and talking to people and kind of being yourself and let them know, because I think it's going to be more beneficial if you let them know that than if you're doing these things behind the scenes and they find out through hearsay and things like that. Hardest part now is how do you maneuver around, for example, I work 3 days a week in the clinic, and then I'm out of the clinic 2 days a week, and then on weekends and such. I have patients all the time like, well, why aren't you here on Tuesday, Fridays? I said, where are you on Tuesday, Fridays? What do you do on Tuesday, Fridays? And because people are curious, aka/nosy, right? I don't not tell them that I do my own thing. I usually will just let them know I also do an out-of-network practice inside of a CrossFit box where I do this, I do this. I do some personal training and things like that on the side as well. I don't hand out my card. I'm not like, oh, here's my business card. Here's my information. You should look me up as soon as you're done with PT. I don't do that because I made a promise to my manager and my supervisor, who I respect immensely and who's a phenomenal person, that I wouldn't do that. And so just keep that in mind, right? You kind of tread those waters lightly, however you feel is the most appropriate for you to do. But I try not to basically self-promote when I'm in the clinic. Every now and again, I've had people find me. Like it's not hard. You can go on Google and search my name and or things like that, and you'll find me. And I've had people reach out to me who I used to work with a year or so ago who were like, hey, my husband's doing this. Can you help him? Like, it doesn't hurt because then you still build those relationships, right? So they know who you are. They know you as a person. They trust you as a person because you helped them so much when they were in that in-network clinic. And now, like, you know what? I could use a little personal training. I really want to get back into some fitness and some things like that. How can I reach out to you? And they find you online, right? Again, I'm not handing out business cards. I'm not promoting myself in that way. But when you create that really strong relationship and that bond with somebody, people are more likely to seek you out in that way. But again, this was right about how to approach the whole side hustle thing. And again, I'm trying to come from my personal experience. This is kind of what I have seen. This is what I've advised other people, especially new grads going into a job who are trying to do their own thing on the side while still working for a company that they respect and want to work for, and also for individuals who are starting their own side hustle while in the clinic. One thing you want to be aware of, and I would recommend taking Sarah and Kate's out of network course for a little bit more information on this, is you have to be sure that if you're going to go out of network and you are going to charge for physical therapy cash, and someone wants a super bill, they want to be reimbursed for your services in some way, whether it be whatever it is, you have to check. You're going to have to be you're going to have to be honest, not a little bit. You're going to have to be honest because you have to find out whether you're in network as the company you work for or in network as your own provider identification number. Because if that is the case, then for you to provide a super bill for someone to get reimbursed when you are already in contract with a certain insurance company, you could run into some trouble, right? So you have to kind of know what you can and who you can provide a super bill for, who you can charge out of network prices to without it coming back on you in some way. So that's probably a little bit more than I can talk about in this window, but I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So if you are someone who's already starting a side hustle, who's doing out of network, who's charging people cash, and then you got someone who's asking for a super bill, but you're not sure, I still work for example, I work for Aurora. Like, I still work for Aurora. Does that mean that I have to give, like, am I in contract with Humana or United, or is it Aurora who's under contract with them? So am I allowed to put my name down there, or am I not? And you have to know those things before you start handing out these kind of super bills and kind of letting people reimburse, because you don't want to run into trouble either, right? You got to cover your own butt as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that's something that if you have that question, if you're considering starting a side hustle and you're not sure how to approach your employer or a new employer, hopefully that helps a little bit and just going to do a little clarity. If you guys have any questions that you're not sure about it, please feel free to comment anywhere on here or shoot me a question anytime. I'm happy to help. And again, sorry that I'm on about an hour earlier than usual. I'm seeing my first patient at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. Eastern or 6 a.m. Pacific. I am terrible with time zones, but so I cannot be on right at the 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So I go on a little bit earlier so I can make sure I can still get dressed, get out the door, and have my first patient in front of me by 8 a.m. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.